This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Wednesday, February 4th of 2026, and we are so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I'll be visiting with Stine Seed President Myron Stine from the Iowa Ag Expo. Also have a check of the closing markets with Cory Bratland of agmarket.net. Dustin Huffman helping me out there. But first, let's take a look at that conversation with Myron Stine as we talked about the yield maximizing program and how that program helps farmers make slight adjustments for substantial yield gains. Here at the Iowa Ag Expo 2026 in Des Moines, talking with Myron Stine of Stine Seed. The show just started here today. A lot of farmers here already. And as they come by and visit with everybody at the Stine Seed booth, what are they excited for looking into 2026?
Well, so Riley, we're a company. We're focused on breeding innovation, family values, and farmer results. Those are our pillars for a company. And one key thing is we're working on a program that's called the Yield Maximizer Program. And what we do with that program is our field reps in our agronomy department collaborate together with our growers, and they really do a good job of helping that grower understand what products to plant where, how to plant those. And then we also come out in the spring and we make sure we do stand counts to assure that their product came up properly and that they're set up for to have a good growing season. So that's our key thing, and it's we've been doing it we did it a little bit last year. We're expanding the program quite a bit. We're getting more growers onto it, and it's something our company wants to focus on right now.
And of course, with that yield maximizer, I appreciate you bringing up the collaboration with the agronomy team. It feels like farmers nowadays, there's just even more of a focus of having that agronomic access kind of in your pocket. I mean, you have your phone, people are reaching out text all the time. To have a program that facilitates that connection is obviously a huge benefit because, let's take out that step in there and let's just make that connection a natural part of the partnership already, right?
Absolutely. A number of our field reps are pretty good agronomists themselves, but we've beefed up our agronomy program, and so they all work together very, very well. And we have found that's what a grower wants. I mean, they don't just want to buy seed and just have a transactional situation. They want us to help them understand their farm, understand the products, understand where to plant the products, how to plant the products, and then furthermore, did they do it right? I mean, we feel as a company, it's our responsibility to make sure that the grower has good germ and good stand, because without that, they're starting the year off wrong.
And we're going to be starting that season here pretty soon before we know it. I know Punxsutawney Phil yesterday said 6 more weeks of winter, but we're already looking at what to do as early as possible for that planting season. With that yield maximizer program you mentioned as well, of kind of looking at specific areas of the field. What do you need here? What variety works better here? Is there a different area of the farm that might want a different variety? There's a lot less of, I would say, kind of the blanket variety selection where it's like, I'll just go with this, run with that on the farm this year. There's a lot more specificity, it feels like, when it comes to what to plant and where to plant it.
Well, yeah, and I feel like our company puts out a portfolio that's very versatile, but and in some cases, a grower could probably take a number of our soybean lines, for instance, and put them just about anywhere, and they'll do okay. But we also feel like we have enough data that we can help them maybe make it 3 or 4% better. And in some cases, that's the grower's profit. So we think that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. And we know, too, that having that information be digestible for the grower is very important. And having that, like you mentioned again, having that beefed up agronomy side of things really can help make it to where that farmer can look at that data and go, I see exactly how I can make that change in my farm.
Absolutely. Our research group, we collect so much data. Like they run like 6 million drone flights a year to gather data on our individual varieties that are out there. And so we really do have a lot of data right out of the gate when we introduce a new product to help our customers place that product right and maximize the value of that product on the farm.
One last thing, Myron, I know you mentioned the family values as well. It's not every day that you see a seed company that is still run by the same family who started it. And I know that's kind of a big example right there of those family values.
Oh yeah, my father started the company. He's still highly involved. I have a brother and two sisters also involved. I have some nieces and nephews that are involved. And so, yeah, we're truly a family company, and it's family members making a lot of the decisions that are out there. And we like that, and we have found there are customers, they want that. They want that family feel.
Myron, lots of great information today for anyone who wants to stay up to date with Stine Seed and they can't make it to the show. How can they do that?
They can go to our website, stineseed.com, and there's a plethora of information there. It's a very good website.
Thanks again to Stine Seed President Myron Stine for joining us on today's show. Up next, we'll go ahead and kick it over to Dustin Huffman as he visits with Cory Bratland of agmarket.net for the closing market summary.
And Cory, started out a little quiet this morning, and then soybeans took off on a rocket ship and kind of took everybody along for the ride for a little while.
Yeah, it sure did. We haven't seen action like that in the soybean market, and really, Dustin, what it was, it was all on the comment that President Trump sent out, that he had a very good conversation with President Xi from China, and that through that conversation that he mentioned that China is considering buying 20 million metric ton of beans from the U.S. Now, I'm taking it as that they bought 12 million metric ton from the U.S. This would be an additional 8. If that is the case, then yeah, I mean it's going to make supplies here in the U.S. a little bit on the tight side, but I got to pump the brakes here a little bit. It is a consideration. Okay, so it's just a talking point as of right now. No action has been made yet, but that got the soybean markets off and running. We ended the day around this 25, 26 higher, going to settle in that 1090 to 1092 area. With that, they also mentioned that they might be interested in considering buying some more agricultural products. Not sure what they're looking for specifically there, but corn and wheat market just kind of struggled. They did get supported a little bit on the corn market. I think they're going to end up maybe 0.5 cent to a penny. Wheat though, just kind of heading lower here again. 3 to 5 lower on this wheat market.
And it's interesting. I mean, yeah, this is the time of year where China starts to shift over to South America, and we've been hearing good things out of there. But China doesn't just come in usually and say things generally without having a reason to want to come and buy anything. Have we heard anything as to why? Is it trying to maybe just repair the relationship, or are they in some need, and they're trying to make sure they kind of hedge their bets?
Yeah, that's kind of the big question. You hit them all on the head there. Is there a need for there? And you're 100% right. I mean, China isn't going to say something like this, and I don't expect President Trump to make this comment if it wasn't legit. So, are they maybe not telling us the truth on their supply? Because when you look at prices, Brazilian soybeans are 50, 60, maybe 70 cents a bushel cheaper from the U.S. So I kind of feel like it's just trying to repair our dealings here and just kind of being trying to bring our trade things together here a little bit. So I think that's a little bit of it. And who knows? China does like to have a good supply of soybeans and have those reserve stocks. Are they in the process of maybe flushing out some of them older stocks, getting rid of those, selling them into their domestic markets, and replacing some more good quality beans that they usually get from the U.S.? I mean, that definitely are all things that are on the table right now.
Moving over to the livestock side of things, I know cattle and hogs have been enjoying the ride the last couple of days. Cattle did have a good gain and then kind of backed off a little, but still not a bad day. Tell us what happened in that side of the markets.
Yeah, I think we just we're starting to run into some resistance here, where we're getting close to those gaps that we left on the charts back on our October high. So we've been very strong here as of late. I'm guessing that we saw some hedge pressure come in here middle of the day, because we saw more of the front months, the Aprils and Junes kind of all pull back on the live cattle here, all while the deferreds, you get out to October, Decembers of this fall, they held up pretty good over $1 higher. We kind of saw the same thing, with the lean hog market. Lean hogs were up pretty strong here earlier today. April's are going to end up about 30 cents. Everything else down, 30 to 50 cents on the day. So I'm just suspicion we're running into some hedge pressure here as we starting to bump up against these old highs that we saw back in October.
Well, it's definitely good to see a good day all around here for grains and livestock. If folks want to look at some of the intel you guys are following and maybe look at some plans they can make, whether it's for this 26 crop or other places, where's a good way for them? Where's a good place, I should say, to start that conversation, Cory?
You bet. Yeah, just head over to our website, which is agmarket.net, and there's a lot of places you can get a hold of us on that website.
All right, Cory Bratland's been our guest at agmarket.net. Thanks so much. We'll see you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.
And that was Cory Bratland of agmarket.net. Thanks again to Dustin for covering the markets today. We'll take a look at how those numbers close through the market window at iowaagnet.com. At the close, March corn down 2 1/4 at 428 1/4. March soybeans down 6 even at 1061 3/4. March soybean meal down 560 at 294.30. March soybean oil down 10 cents at 53.89. Chicago wheat down 7 even at 522 1/2. Kansas City hard red winter wheat down 11 even at 529 3/4. Minneapolis spring wheat down 5 1/4 at 569 3/4. March oats up 2 even at 299 1/4. On the Merc, February live cattle up $1.12 at 236.02. March feeders up 242 at 362.60. February lean hogs down 5 cents at 88.30. February pork cutout up 40 at 97.82. And February class 3 milk up 75 at 16.03. That's been checking the markets on Ag Matters PM, and that also brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our daily ag news content on our website at iowaagnet.com. For Dustin Huffman and Mark Magnuson, I'm Riley Smith, reporting from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines. This has been Ag Matters PM.